Will you ensure that for next week's papers, once again reiterate
yes. If
that
he's
that's in
back
it?
and
All
find
the
it.
correspondence that has taken place between yourself, the Dallo, yourself.
I
and
never engaged with the Dallo. I never engaged with the First Minister. I never engaged with anybody. I engaged with the clerk who does all the work.
Well, it's important to have this information put out, transparent in the public domain, and I hope you as Chair will ensure that that's done.
Other business. Go ahead.
Can I raise, Chair? It'll come as no surprise to you. We have today another splash in the newsletter regarding the Executive Committee. And I suppose I just want to go back to the 6th of November and correspondence or dialogue we had between yourself and myself, where you said you never engaged with the Dallo, I never engaged with the First Minister, I never engaged with anybody. I engaged with the clerk who does all the work. Yep. So, Michael, I believe at that meeting you weren't there. On the 6th of November, I had asked for all the information and correspondence relating to this, whether it be text messages, emails, to be put in the pack. That has never happened. And you had said you had never engaged with the First Minister.
No, I says I never engaged. So you accused me at that meeting of going through the First Minister or the Dallo to set up the meeting.
I don't think I accused you of anything.
You did. And you've tried to create this false narrative that we are in some ways having this correspondence behind the scenes, which is not the case.
Well, it certainly looks like it when you've seen the text messages to your personal phone.
Sorry. I sent one text message back to acknowledge that
so the First Minister reached out to you.
Well, that's up to the First Minister.
But at no point did you say, listen, I don't want to engage here.
No. What I said was I acknowledged that I had missed her correspondence overnight, and then I advised her that I was using the official channels, using the clerk to set up the meeting.
Was there any phone calls that taken place?
No, there wasn't any phone calls. Why would there have been a phone call?
Well, it insinuated that the First Minister had tried to get you via
phone
and you didn't pick up because you thought it was the media.
Yeah, so and what's your question?
What's my question? Well, it's not my question. It's my concern, Chair, that at best you misled the committee, or worse, lied to the committee.
That is a very strong accusation. Now, I would ask you to reflect on that. That is, I did not mislead the committee.
Well, we had asked for all the information to be put in the pack. That has
you
never
asked
happened.
You asked for all the communication that went from this committee to the
I
private
meant,
office.
well, in general.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Well,
because I would have picked up on that.
You decided not to declare that the First Minister had reached out to you via back channels.
And well, that's up to the First Minister to answer.
I mean, you're the chair of this committee, and I did say to you, and I suggested to you that you had compromised yourself the day the First Minister had come because you went to the private meeting, and now it turns out there's text messages between the two of you. I
acknowledged that I had missed the call and missed her two text messages from the previous evening, and advised her that I had asked the clerk to use the official channels, which is the proper procedure. Now, should I have ignored the First Minister?
I think it would have been honest and transparent and upfront.
The wording of the First Minister's text to me went in an email to members, and I didn't ask for that to happen. The clerk put that in. I asked.
Did it come to you directly, or did it come to you as well as the Dallo?
What?
You had said it come through official channels, and you have just said that the email from the First Minister to yourself.
Then? Obviously, what happened late at night, whenever the First Minister couldn't get hold of me. So then it was obviously put in an email from the Dallo to you, and that's how he got word of it. I was sleeping.
In the list of correspondence that did go in the pack, the Dallo communicated to me the evening before, and then I communicated that to the chair, and then again at 7 o'clock the following morning.
Okay, sorry, let me just bring Carol in here. Go ahead, Carol.
Sorry, Chair.
No, I know, but you've had plenty of time. Go ahead, Carol.
Sure, I just find this line of question very inappropriate. You've answered the question. I just wouldn't indulge Timothy in the newsletter anymore. I think this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So, To draw a line under this,
Well,
if you have a
I draw a
problem,
line under, but it was a case of an FOI that had come in from the newsletter, which then
Oh,
turned
what?
out that there was
So
text messages.
So I
Is
acknowledge
there
that.
anything else to declare?
No, there's not. Well, first of all, I acknowledged the First Minister's missed communication. I advised her I was using official channels, and shock horror, I said, I agree, I want the meeting to be constructive. In what way are you trying to spin this?
I'm not trying to spin it anyway. You must look at this
anyway,
and take
I'm drawing
a
the
step
line
back
under, if you have a
that
complaint.
this doesn't look good.
I don't, look, whatever the newsletter, I've given up a long time ago worrying about the newsletter, what the newsletter thinks about me or what writes about me. If you have a problem, you go to the Standards Commissioner. Okay.
Is there anything else you want to declare in front of the committee that might come out in further FOIs?
I don't think, I think we'd be really going down the wrong pathway if we said that there should be not any standard or rule that includes a committee member or a chair from talking to a minister in any shape, form or fashion. I mean, that is not a rule that exists, and why would you want to put that rule? You know, that's an interpretation that you want to put on, this committee, or some kind of new standard. It is, in no legislation or legislative organisation throughout, committee members can talk to ministers, and ministers can talk to chairs, and what else? Nothing untoward has happened in those two. There's nothing to see in those two.
It's
It's pathetic, actually, now at this stage.
Well, that's what the constructive opposition.
Constructive opposition is right. Let's be constructive about it. I think that there's a slant been put on it, and we have to go down. Like, there's nothing. In terms of the DUP and that, the work is still going on within the executive. The works are still going on between the North-South Ministerial Council. The works and motions are still going on. There's nothing been prevented. The only place that things are prevented from happening is in this committee. By being disruptive. So it's very performative, really. So let's be real about it.
How was I disruptive throughout the committee?
Tim, I've sat through it for weeks now. We're getting nowhere with it. So, those two, look at the two text messages. There's really nothing in them. Go and look at your... Inspector Clouseau, honestly. It's just... Ministers can talk to you as a member of this committee. Ministers can talk to me. Ministers can talk to the chair.
I'm not giving evidence to a committee. If you take this back to the start,
I am not
stems
disputing.
from.
I mean, it was a sorry state of affairs, the whole thing that happened in relation to evidence and the minister, etc., and all of that. It wasn't a good day at the office in any shape, form or fashion. But we're pulling this out, and it's actually having an impact on the work of this committee. Not anywhere else. It's not disturbing. It's the performatory nature of it now that I think we really have to draw a line under, because it's going nowhere. David Thompson will do another wee bit tomorrow in the newsletter or whatever. It's just leave it. Leave it. And yes, constructive opposition. I'd like you to be constructive as well.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Yep, I don't think we do need to rehash and members be familiar with my disappointment with how the First Minister behaved on the day after agreeing to come to committee. But we know that's all understood. So the only valid point in the article, as a point of fact, is it quotes you, Chair, as having said, "I never engaged with the First Minister."
I don't engage with her,
But in fairness to the article, you'd had a text message exchange with her, so
it was in the context of this false narrative that he has been trying to create.
That's nonsense.
No,
I'm
just saying that
false
well, I was answering in that context because I'm fed up with these
very
accusations.
selective context.
I'm trying to speak.
Well, anyway, go ahead.
So, no, but I mean, I accept all MLAs should speak to each other at times, when they have opportunity. But in terms of your role as chair, it is relevant if text messages were passed on through an FOI request, If that's how this came about, then clearly to say you never engaged with the First Minister. Obviously, you do.
Engage with her.
Well. The exchange of text messages would be called engaging.
The assumption that he has been trying, that Timothy has been trying to create, is that we in some way colluded.
Well, you did protect her the whole way through the evidence session.
No, the fact that the questions that you were asking were not within the responsibility of this committee as a scrutiny in terms of the work of the Executive Office, that's on you. If you couldn't with
but
that,
it's the First Minister.
No. And she was here representing the Executive Office
Department. Has to comply with the ministerial code.
Well,
and
you need to go to the Standards Commissioner then, because that's not our role. That's not our role.
So does the ministerial code not apply to the First Minister? Yes, it does.
Well, this is not. We are a scrutiny committee for the Executive Office Department, its roles, functions and services. If you feel that the ministerial code has been in any way breached, you go to the Standards Commissioner. That's not our role. Okay, thank you everyone. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.